7-1 into 4-1. And you look at his breeding, don't you? He's by Yates. He's stepping up to 1 mile and a 6. He's got Holly Doyle claiming 5. I get the wisdom behind the move for that, but it is a significant move, 7 into 4. So I'm sure that one will be Wrangler at the finish.
Brilliant. Pat, thank you very much for talking to us. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
You will indeed. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you.
First race at Salisbury, War Chief is the 5-4 favourite. Holy Roma is 7-2, 9-2 Stevie Brown, 8-1 Bar.
Yep, welcome back to Salisbury. Minutes, seconds even away from our first race here at Salisbury. David Cleary is my guest. Welcome, David. What caught your eye in the paddock?
Well, War Chief is one with scope for next season. He's got a bit more about him than a few of the others here. Eberacci, I thought, was a bit unfurnished, but she does look reasonably well forward. Bataka, one of the other newcomers from a stable that had a 50-1 debutant winner last week, she's on the small side, and though she had a rug on, there didn't look to be a lot of substance between her. Holy Roma is also pretty small. There's a bit more about Stevie Brown, who's been gelded since we last saw him. This is his third run. He's one more likely for handicaps, but he might have enough ability to win an ordinary maiden auction.
He was a touch on his toes, Stevie Brown, has been gelded since that last run 62 days ago. Of the two bits of form towards that top of the market, War Chief and Holy Roma, which did you prefer on the track?
War Chief, really, though he was quite keen in the race where he made his debut at Wolverhampton, doing his best work late on, having taken a while to settle.
I thought that it was a good performance. He was out wide turning in. He was last turning in as well before switched out wide. I didn't think it was an obvious one to drop him back in trip necessarily.
Well, it's only a slight drop back in trip, isn't it? No, actually, it's more than a slight drop. Sorry. Here's Gareth.
And they're off and racing. The favourite was slow to break, War Chief, for this Division 1 of the Bathwick Car and Van Hire Maiden Auction Stakes, but out alertly Stevie Brown, and will tow the field along through the first furlong, ahead of, in second place, Chamasset, a couple of lengths back to Holy Roma, the yellow with the blue cap, and that one being tracked through over towards the inside by Everlasting Sea, with a little wider outer on the course, but not too far away Expectation. That one being followed a further couple of lengths adrift by Ibarrachi, with racing out a bit wider Desidero in a sheepskin noseband. Bataka early on is looking a little all at sea, and that one racing with a keen going War Chief, who's at the back end of the field following that slow start. So making the journey back towards us now inside their final half a mile and reaching halfway. Stevie Brown in front by a neck only to Chamasset in second, and then a length and a half back to Holy Roma over towards the inside. A little wider out Expectation. It was quite well backed, now just coming under a ride, with now making up a few places War Chief, but still a little bit of work to do in the pink and green colours as they now gallop on for their final couple of furlongs. The race now hotting up. Over to the far side, Holy Roma coming through with War Chief now lurking as a serious challenger. Wider out on the track is Stevie Brown, who's won paced and has come away from the inside under pressure, with boxing on determinedly in behind those Expectation. Then a little wider out is Chamasset, but War Chief from last to first is now drawn on by 3 to 4 lengths and is stretching out really purposefully in the closing stages, and War Chief impressively is off the mark at the second attempt. Running through in the end to be second was Bataka, and a little gap to the third.
Yeah, War Chief has won this. The favourite has come from quite a way back in the field to actually come through and dominate this towards the finish for Jimmy Fortune and Alan King. Second was Bataka, Josephine Gordon claiming 3 for Harry Dunlop, who didn't shake without promise at all. But this War Chief, who made his debut last time at Wolves over a little bit further, has dropped back in trip. He's been very professional here. He got a nice little split and has extended away quite nicely from Holy Roma, who in fact dropped back to be third, having looked as though she was probably nailed on for second. He's got a bit of scope about in this horse, David.
Yeah, Holy Roma hasn't quite lasted home. I think she might even have finished fourth in the end. But War Chief, he was professional during the second half of the race, but he fell out of the stalls.